Why the most successful salespeople still use Crepts. People would have laughed at you if you had told them a decade ago that the most successful salespeople are still using Crepts. The internet has made it easier than ever to learn just about anything you want. So with all this content and courses available, how did you know which ones to learn from and which ones actually work? Luckily for you, BBC member, for today's video, we will be talking about why the most successful salespeople are still using Crepts. Remember that while the first step is completing any of this amazing information, the second and possibly more important step is taking action, even if it's imperfect action. Many salespeople assert that they never have used and never will use Crepts. Many people disagree with the concept of scripting, claiming that they are phony, don't work, make you sound like a telemarketer, or that it is impossible to use a script because every call is different. In actuality, every salesperson follows a script. Why? Read on. Your prospects probably ask you the same questions over and over again. If you've worked in sales for even a very brief period, your responses to those questions are probably quite typical. If you consistently give the same responses to certain questions, then those responses are your scripts. You undoubtedly encounter the same potential customers' objections repeatedly, and you've probably developed fairly standard responses to them. These responses are also scripted if you consistently use the same counter-argument in response to the same objection. Scripts are just another name for elevator speeches. Additionally, you most likely have a fairly standard way of introducing yourself to potential clients. A brief introduction you could give to a prospect in an elevator that would be finished and understood by the time the elevator reached your floor is sometimes referred to as an elevator speech. I bet you've been in sales for even a short time. You've probably found yourself giving prospects what is known as an elevator speech, also known as a script, over and over again. You see, it makes no difference that your dependable responses are not recorded or that you occasionally vary how you deliver them. You are using scripts if you continually use the same language when speaking to various prospects or clients. Do the results from your script match your expectations? Not using a script is the issue at hand. Does your script actually work is the real query. Does your script produce the desired outcomes for you? Shouldn't you be saying something else if it doesn't? Does what you say get you the appointment when you call prospects to set up meetings? Your script won't run if it doesn't. Does what you say get you the sale if your entire sales process takes place over the phone? Your script won't run if it doesn't. Why would you ever want to say anything other than what works if you are making prospecting calls to set up appointments and you are actually doing this frequently? And why would you ever want to say anything else if your entire sale is closed over the phone and you are actually closing many sales? Effective salespeople don't wing it. Successful salespeople use scripts that they have developed over time and that they frequently use. They are aware of what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. Many of these accomplished people don't consider their words to be part of a script, but if you listen carefully, you will recognize that they frequently repeat the same opening statements, talking points, and responses. The truly effective salespeople don't wing it. You might feel strongly negative things as a small business owner about sales scripts. It's true that the phrase sales script makes many business owners and even employees cringe and contempt. The robotic, phony, and manufactured responses of telemarketers and commercial customer service representatives come to mind as examples of how sales scripts have earned a bad reputation. Sales scripts continue to be crucial to the success of many businesses, both big and small. Even though you might be tempted to scoff at the idea of implementing them in your own company, this could be a great time to embrace the advantages that sales scripts can offer to your company's sales process.
If you want to be a successful sales Sherpa in an increasingly complex information-saturated, highly flexible sales environment, you need to be comfortable using sales scripts. Throughout my years as a sales coach, I've been surprised at how many people ask me about sales scripts. And usually they ask if they really do work. I think that they're hoping that I'll say no and that there's some other secret to success. I think people are resistant to using sales scripts for a couple of reasons. One, they aren't taught the right way, so they feel that they just have to be a robot and read it. Secondly, they're afraid they're going to lose authenticity because they can't be in the moment. And thirdly, although people won't admit to this, it takes work. And I think a lot of times salespeople were looking for shortcuts. Here's the reality. Sales scripts are critical if you want to be successful long-term in a sales role. And yes, that means salespeople, but that means business owners, entrepreneurs. Anytime you are in a role where you have to influence and sell and engage with clients, with prospects, with customers, you want to script out what you're going to say. So how do sales scripts work in a non-transaction based sales relationship? I learned how to sell in a very transactional situation. When I was selling cutlery in people's homes in college, we had a 45-minute presentation. We cut some food, we cut some rope, cut a penny, bada boom, bada bing, sale. But here's the thing, as technology takes over those transactionally based sales roles, scripts actually become more important, not less. Which sounds backwards, but let me explain this, and let me beat the sales Sherpa metaphor into the ground just a little harder. Imagine that you want to go up a mountain. You know what the goal is, to get to the mountaintop. And you have a map. Hopefully, you have a map that shows you the best route up the mountain. You aren't just gonna show up and wing it. Although I think that's what a lot of salespeople do. No, you're gonna have a map that shows you the best path up. Now, you'll want to be flexible as you follow that map. Maybe there's a new hole in the ground. You're gonna go around it. Or if you find a shortcut, you're gonna take that. In the same way, sales scripts shouldn't be written in stone, but rather flexible and contextual. They're maps that help direct your conversations. You don't have to make this up from scratch every single time. So here are a few things to keep in mind while you're scripting your sales conversations. First of all, have one, or rather have a lot of them. Look at every point you have in your conversation with a prospect or client and map that out. Your phone calls, your rapport building, building value, demonstrating features and benefits, asking for the business, asking for referrals. At each point of the conversation, map out what you should do. The second thing you need to do is learn it. A lot of salespeople struggle with scripts because learning it can be boring. It's just sitting there and learning some language. Sitting down and actually deciding what you're going to say and learning how to say that when you're in front of a customer is a great investment of time and energy. I wish I could just zap this into your brain, but that's not how it works. And then finally, be flexible. Be contextual. Don't look at this as a map you have to follow exactly, but rather as a guide to help you engage in the moment with your prospect, with your customer. It's a way to have a better conversation.
Here are some justifications for including sales scripts in your regular sales procedure. Number 1. Sales scripts let you keep your message consistent. Consistency is crucial because it keeps customers coming back to you rather than your competitors, which is what propels your business in a successful direction. You can make sure that everyone is adhering to the same procedures, making the same promises that you can keep, and promoting the same ideas by training your team to use a sales script. In essence, you're ensuring consistency with your own brand, in addition to controlling what your employees say. Remember that just because something is called a sales script doesn't mean your team can stray from it occasionally in order to close a deal. Sales scripts shouldn't take the place of your staff members' unique talents or personalities. Instead, They ought to be utilized as a tool to direct the sales procedure and give your staff the information they require to be prepared for a range of circumstances and inquiries. Number 2. Sales scripts help to generate more leads. Stronger engagement with prospective customers can occur when your sales team is organized and knows exactly what they will say. Positive interactions encourage follow-up meetings, increase professionalism, and ultimately higher conversion rates. One common misconception about sales scripts is that they encourage over-talking on the part of the salesperson. Contrarily, effective sales scripts help your team members become better listeners. Your team will be more focused on listening to the specific queries or issues a lead brings up during their conversation if they already have prepared responses to offer. This will help build a stronger rapport and lead to a subsequent sale. Number 3. Sales scripts address typical objections up front. It cannot be emphasized enough. The secret to closing the deal is being well prepared for everything. Your salespeople can prepare perfectly matched responses when they are trained to anticipate the potential objections that customers may raise. Number 4. It's simple to update and revise sales scripts. Your sales script should obviously change as your business grows and as your internal policies or offerings change. Now, let's say that you have a script. You can simply update it rather than starting from scratch. It shouldn't be a problem to ask your team to learn the script again. The main idea ought to stay the same, with only a few minor changes based on new knowledge gained through experience, new goods or services you provide, etc. No matter how you felt about sales scripts in the past, it's obvious that they can be a very useful tool for your sales team by keeping your message consistent and adequately preparing your team. You must now decide whether to include sales scripts in your sales process. Number 5. Reduces anxiety. "53% of sales agents give up too easily when cold calling," according to AP News. While 48% are reluctant to pick up the phone. Both beginning cold calling and persuading a stranger to listen to what you have to say are difficult tasks. Many agents experience stress and anxiety as a result of this. It's also one of the factors that discourages companies from making cold calls. By providing the call agent with a safety net during the conversation, having a script can increase their confidence. Having a script can increase their confidence. They may feel more prepared and capable of interacting with prospects after learning the script. Number 6. Tone: prepared and professional. Your agents may sound more professional if they know what they're going to say and when. Customers prefer to converse with knowledgeable, well-prepared individuals. This improves the lead's perception of the brand and its goods or services, in addition to giving the speaker the appearance of competence. Number 7. Ready to face challenges. Customers frequently have a variety of excuses for not making a purchase. Customers' spending anxiety can be reduced and their confidence in their purchase increased by having answers ready for any potential problems or complaints. As they will be prepared for responses, it can also help your agents unwind, which enhances the call's dynamic. Number 8. A rise in productivity. An improvement in productivity follows from the favorable dynamic that scripting can create between the sales agent and the potential customer. Agents can clearly understand their goals for the call when they have a script. It might be a sale, a recommendation, or a meeting reservation. In either case, the script aids them in remembering and pursuing their objectives, ensuring outcomes. The benefit of this is that having specific goals in your script makes it easier to measure productivity. Agents can easily see if they have accomplished the necessary goals by using a to-do list. Additionally, you can evaluate the success of your plan. These advantages of scripting set up a cycle that can greatly aid your cold calling strategy. Employees who use a script are less nervous and more assured. They deliver with a laid-back attitude, which changes how they interact with customers. Through conversions, subscriptions, and other means, this has an effect on productivity and the bottom line. But there are drawbacks that counteract the advantages. Why not using a script is a good idea. Number 1. Hinders employees. The script can help and support agents, but it also has the potential to demoralize and undervalue them. For seasoned sales professionals, this is especially true. They may feel constrained by a script. Scripted calls may be interpreted by agents as a lack of confidence in their abilities, which could discourage them from giving their all. Number 2. Automated tone. The result of dissatisfied employees? Customers are uninspired to interact with your business as a result of their lack of ambition and minimal effort. Your caller-receiver dynamic may also suffer from dull and boring interactions. Additionally, leads may find robotic and boring scripted and planned conversation. It's the traditional explanation for why not everyone can be an actor. Many people switch from their natural conversational voices to stiff robotic tones as soon as a script is involved. Customers become alienated and think, "Oh no, no more salespeople, please." Number 3. Poor outcomes. Consequently, scripting may come across as impersonal to the agent as well as the potential client. They are both unhappy about this. The fact that 75% of consumers list personalized experience as one of the factors in their brand selection will have an effect on your bottom line. Having trouble deciding? Scripting can go incredibly wrong or incredibly well. Businesses find it challenging to make the best decisions as a result. The great thing is that you might not have to make a decision. You have a choice between two options. Number 1. A funnel for scripts. Junior agents can be trained and introduced to cold calling using scripts as a training tool. This may be comprehensive, detailed scripts with advice on how to conduct successful cold calls. Employees who have gained confidence and preparedness can become less reliant on the script as they gain experience. In essence, you direct them off script as they advance. Additionally, you can encourage each user to modify the script to better fit their speaking style. Make scripts available to all employees so they can review their objectives and make sure the results are met. Number 2. Create a template for a script. Instead of writing a lengthy, detailed script for salespeople to follow, give them a template. All of the advantages of a script are present in a template, but none of the drawbacks. Using a template, you can include the essential actions and objectives to guarantee productivity and properly train employees. The seller can alter the template to fit the flow of the conversation and the customer, so it offers all the structure of a script without making the conversation feel constrained. Additionally, this discourages the mechanical reading of the script and encourages natural, interpersonal communication. Here are some quick hints for making a template. Allow time for genuine greetings and building rapport. Establish a set of questions. Include specific and open-ended questions. Include obvious cues for sellers to pay attention to customers. Define the agent's objectives. You can relate them to the aforementioned questions. Avoid objections and provide potential responses to them. It's difficult to make cold calls. You must develop a strong cold calling strategy if you want to fully capitalize on all the potential that cold calling has to offer for your sales efforts. To do this, consider how you want your prospects to feel at the conclusion of the call. Know some solution to make it easier for your staff to muster the courage to answer the phone as well. As you can see, using a sales script has both advantages and disadvantages. Finding what works for your brand, its clients, and your sales team may therefore require some experimentation and an open mind. If you're unsure of whether to script or not to script, what then? So keep in mind that cunning weakness you have at your disposal, a model to follow, to support your objectives and increase the effectiveness of your agents. Think about using a dedicated sales cold calling solution. Your agents can still be prepared, professional, approachable, and productive if you use the right cold calling solution, whether or not you decide to use a script. Why following sales scripts is necessary to establish credibility. We've overheard thousands of salespeople say, "I don't like using sales scripts" over the years. It just doesn't work because it sounds so stiff and robotic. Let me say that again. Over the years, we've heard that from thousands of unsuccessful salespeople. Successful salespeople are aware that having a script, a predetermined procedure they adhere to when interacting with clients, is essential to their success. The following scripts are useful for a reason. They promote trust when used properly. Prospects react to self-assurance. You've likely heard the adage, "It's not just what you say, but how you say it." That ties in with the idea that communication is much more than just the exchange of information. We also exchange feelings, zeal, and opinions when we converse with another person. Because so much of this interaction occurs subconsciously, we often don't even realize we're doing it, but it continues to occur. It explains why we don't trust people who mumble, avoid eye contact, and use filler words like more frequently than actual words. They might have a great solution if they are a salesperson. Although their information may be excellent, it is much more difficult to believe them. Sales scripts establish a dependable course. You are prepared to speak when you have scripted some of your sales presentations. The fact that you understand why and how to say something is more important. Every customer conversation follows the same pattern, even for successful salespeople who adamantly deny using scripts. They have internalized their scripts so thoroughly that they aren't even aware of doing it. Although they aren't, most salespeople believe that their conversations are always unique. The issues you address, the attributes and advantages you offer, and the queries your clients ask remain largely constant. When you have a consistent conversational process, you will share the appropriate information in the appropriate manner, and for those occasions when something unexpected does arise, you'll have a strong foundation that you can modify and expand upon. When you aren't trying to come up with something to say, it enables you to concentrate on emotional connection you share with your conversation partner. And because you're paying attention, you can react to them more successfully. You become more professional by scripting your approach. Success in the majority of professions goes to those who can consistently and reliably repeat a set of skills at a high level of competence, unless you're a professional improv comedian. Professional baseball players don't appear to reinvent their swing each time they step up to the plate. And in every conversation, you shouldn't make the same mistakes. The worry is that if you stick to a script, you'll come across as artificial. Have you, however, seen a play or a movie? The actors sound absolutely natural, despite the fact that all of the dialogue was pre-written. Internalized scripts are not robotic. In fact, because they aren't stumbling and struggling for words, the actor's assurance and expertise can shine through. Untrained actors can be difficult to see because they do tend to sound robotic. That won't be a problem if you aren't a novice, though. Spend the time and effort necessary to memorize your lines, and your confidence will come across. Beginning your own script. 3 areas will benefit from scripting: though you don't have to write out every word you'll say to a customer or prospect. It's valuable to take a few minutes in front of the computer to type out these. Number 1. Select the 2 or 3 discovery questions. At the beginning of your presentation, pose these queries to each prospect. Word for word, memorize. Number 2. What would you like to say in closing? Have a standard method for asking for business every time. Your confidence will increase because it will be easier for you to say. Number 3. Establish standard responses to your top 3 objections. You'll notice that your prospects present you with relatively few objections when you analyze your sales conversations. Have a concise response for each of them. By the way, if you have never previously written out your sales conversations, you will sound stiff the first few times you follow a script. You're still picking it up, but if you are persistent, the stiffness will eventually disappear, leaving you to interact with prospects and clients with a strong sense of confidence. Good things take place at that time. That's it for this video, BBC member. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and if you feel like we've delivered value, please share this video with one person. That's right, just one person, as a token of your appreciation for the hard work we put into making content that educates and helps you on your mission of building your own fortune. Remember, you can watch video after video, but it isn't until you actually take action that you'll start to see results. See you soon!